then, welcome to the channel, the Lake District and Rosthwaite. And today we're not going very high, it's a bit of a grim day on the big boys, so we're just going to do Castle Crag. And then on the way back we're going to have a look at Millican Dalton's Cave. So we're not going the direct route, we're going a very circuitous route. We're going to head towards Seatoller, which was originally where I was going to park, but we set off late. I didn't think we'd have any problems getting parked in Rosthwaite, and I've never used car park in Seatoller before, so I didn't know what that would be like. Yeah, we've parked in Rosthwaite. I'm going to head down towards Seatoller, up through Johnny Wood, then over to Castle Crag, Gowder Dubb, and then have a look at Millican, I can't say it, his cave on the way back. So as we go through Rosthwaite, we'll have a look at the route. So we've come through Longthwaite, over at River Derwent, and we've crossed over what would have been our return route back to Seatoller. Now this path here, I'm hoping, is one that I've been down on before, that takes us up into Johnny Wood to pick up our intended outward route from Seatoller. You know me, being a trained navigator and all that, we could end up anywhere. I think it's right. I think this goes up into the woods and picks up our intended route. We'll see. So as we pass them old gateposts there, we're on our intended route. So now we make our way through Johnny Wood. As I have been down this way before, I think. So we go up here and then we cross a stream. There's a bit of a waterfall on it. Can't remember its name. I'll tell you when we get up there. Right, so onwards through Johnny Wood. So we're out of Johnny Wood, and now we start the climb up to the Bridleway that'll take us over to the bottom of Castle Crag, which is just over there. I'll show you. So that's Castle Crag, where we're heading, and there's King's How and Grange Felt. I think that's what they are, and that's, see the village Rosthwaite where we started, and all the higher fells, or even not that high, are in the clag. Right, so we'll carry on up to this Bridleway. Where we are, that waterfall, I think it's called Scaleclose, judging by that sign back there to say we're in Close Coppice. And I nearly went flying over there. All stones, they're all a bit on the slippy side. Right, so I think what we're going to do is get up here and then stop for coffee and a chew. So we've stopped for coffee and a chew, and I think this is probably the waterfall. We're right at the top of here. We might be able to see, once we get up there, see if we can look back to it, but I think this is looking more like it's going to be Scaleclose. So yeah, time for coffee and a chew. Now, if you'd like to help the channel out with bringing you these videos, there's that QR code there. You can scan that, and that'll take you to our Buy Me a Coffee page. You can buy us coffee and a chew for a future episode if you'd like to help us out. Or if you can't scan that, then there'll be a link in the description below. And click on that and that'll take you to the same place. So yeah, if you'd like to help us out, that'd be much appreciated. Thank you very much. Right, so we're going to have our coffee and a chew, and then we'll head on up there and see if I can show you this waterfall. So there we go, that's, I think, Scale Force. This is Close Coppice that we're in now. It's quieter, there's a couple in front of us, but we're just ambling along, so hopefully they'll get away from us. Nobody else around, lovely and quiet in here. New territory for us. Right, on we go. So it was a bit unclear where to go there after Waterfall. The path kind of headed straight back downhill, and there was a bit of pushed down fence off to the left. So we went over that and we've picked up this bit of a path through the fields. I'm glad it's not bracken season. Mind you, would have been all right. Right, on we go. That's it, good boy. Good boy, come on. So through that gate, and we're now on this bridleway that used to be, I think it was a Allerdale Ramble or something like that, but I say it's no longer a recognised route. Yeah, over a couple of footbridges here, and then we're not that far from the bottom of Castle Crag. It's lovely here. It's a day to be in the lower hills as well. And two people that were in front of us, I don't know if they've gone up that way or if they've shot off away with all the messing around, filming and whatever. So now, lovely place to ourselves now. Right over these little footbridges and to the bottom of Castle Crag. Charlie, this way. So we've branched off the bridleway and we've fixed the path up now that's taking us up to Castle Crag, and this will just be an out and back, pick the bridleway up back that way. A few people around now as well. I was expecting it when we got onto this bridleway. Anyway, right, upwards. Come on, Charlie, up. So here we are on Castle Crag. Oh, a bit steep coming up there. So that's second time for Charlie, third time for me. So Northwestern Fells, second time round. Charlie's only got Causey Pike and Scar Crags to do. And hopefully might have some guests for that one, so we'll have to see. But we've got nice views there. That's looking down Borrowdale to Derwent Water, Northern Fells clagged in, and hang on, I'll put you on another camera. That's looking over Bessie Boot and Glaramara up to I think that's Great Gable, is it, in the clag there? Yeah. Right, so we're going to make our way back down to that bridleway and follow that round to Gowder Dubb, and we might stop for lunch somewhere around there depending how many folk there are around. Right, down we go. So we're back down on the bridleway, and it's a lovely day. it's certainly not a day to be on the high fells. They're all clagged in, but it's perfectly quiet, no wind. One or two people around, but I was expecting that round here. The routes that we took up, that was reasonably quiet, and that was until we got to kind of there where we went up Castle Crag. I've not been on all them paths before. I said I thought I'd been on that path up through Johnnywood, but I didn't recognise it at all, so possibly not. Yeah, it's all old paths for us now. We've been on all these before. We've never actually been up to Millican. I just can't say it, can I? We've never been up to that bloke's cave before, so that'll be new for us. Right, we'll get down here, and it's not long to lunchtime. So here we are at Gowder Dubb, and you won't see it like this during summer. It gets absolutely heaving during summer, does this. Yeah, it's a nice little spot though, and it's not, there's a campsite down there as well. So, yeah, so I think before we set off round, we're going to stop. There's a little kind of viewpointy thing, I think, down there where we'll have lunch, but I think it's time for Charlie to have a bit of a play. So we found a little bench. It's not where I was thinking of. It's right on path as well. So a few people coming past, but I'm getting peckish. Charlie's he's had his already. Didn't last long. So yeah, I'm going to have my lunch, and then we'll carry on to see if we can find this bloke's cave. Well, lunch was very pleasant, and it was quiet as well. There was only a couple of people past us. Charlie had his usual dig. So now it's just a matter of trying to find this path that goes on up to what's his name's cave. I say I've never been up that way before, so I think it's just an out and back to get to it. But there's a couple of paths kind of head off that way, and I don't know which one it is. You know, being a trained navigator, we'll find it anyhow. So I'm hoping this is the path to Millican Dalton's Cave. I can hear some voices up there, so I think we're going it right way. Right, up we go. So we're at a cave, but I don't think it's the cave. The path does carry on a bit further, and I can see there is another cave up there. Some people on the way up there as well. So yeah, but we'll carry on upwards. So here we are in Millican Dalton's Cave. This is the main chamber. It's quite big actually. Then up, that was like the bedroom up there, I think. So yeah, it's quite a big cave actually. We'll get out into daylight, and I'll tell you more about Millican Dalton. So, who was Millican Dalton? I can hear you all screaming at the screen, or not, maybe. Well, there's a plaque up there, don't you? I'm going to see if I can take a photo. It's a bit mucky, and I can't really see it from down here. But see if I can take a photo of it and zoom in on it. But he was a Victorian. I don't know if he was an eccentric as such. He was an adventurer, and what he used to do during summer months, he used to live in this cave and do guided walks. So yeah, I'll leave a link if I can find an information page I'll leave a link to it in the description. But yeah, I'll take a picture of that and see if I can stick it on screen. So that was a waste of time. I think all that sign says is about no fires, which obviously, well, you can't read it up there. Why not put it down? I suppose they got vandalised if it was down here, but you can't read it up there anyway. Nobody takes any notice of it, judging by its smell and remains in caves. Right, so we're going to return back down to the main path and follow that back to Rosthwaite. So we're out of the woods, through the fields by the river, and that gate behind me there, if you want a direct route up Castle Crag from Rosthwaite, just go up there. That takes you to the top. That's the way I went. I think my second time, the first time with Charlie, we went up that way, I think. Yeah, it's starting to get some blue sky around now as well. Nice and peaceful. Right, on we plod. Well, this is very pleasant. We're just ambling along by the river now. There's nobody around. There's a family in front of us. Well, we saw them first on Castle Crag, and then it was them that were up in that bloke's cave, and they're in front of us now. But they're well in front of us. We're just ambling along. It's lovely down here now. Say a bit of blue sky. Yeah. Now, when I said earlier about Charlie nearly completing his northwestern fells, I was thinking about my tick lists. And I don't know if you recall, a few videos ago I said about I'd pretty much lost interest in the outlying fells and the Burkitts. I'm not sure about them, but certainly the outlying fells I don't think I'm going to bother too much with. Burkitts I might. But I think my next goal will be 500 Wainwrights. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it was 482 today. So yeah, that'll probably be my next goal, 500 Wainwrights. This has turned into one of them, really don't want to get back to car walks. It's lovely now, that's a nice view. Is that King's How behind us? I think it is. I think that's King's How. Yeah, it's lovely. Right, on we saunter. This way, Charlie. So we've just come over New Bridge, and it's only about half a mile back to Rosthwaite now, so I'm going to sign off. Well, it's been a great day. Loved it. Yeah, it's been nowhere near as busy as I was thinking it would be. I mean, there's been a few people around, but yeah, they've been widely spaced apart. So yeah, it's been good. A good route for days when the big boys are kind of out of the question. No, it's been good. We've still got some views. Still looking over there to I think that's King's How and Grange Fell. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Hope you have as well. If you have, we'll hopefully see you on another one soon. Ta-ra!